Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. I hope everybody's doing well out there and having a great day. It's nice to see we're finally getting people vaccinated, and I got my 2 shots already. Being over 70, I was able to do that, and I'll feel much better when my wife gets her 2 shots, and we start getting the population up around 75, 80% inoculated, and we can start getting back to what we used to consider normal. All right. I've been doing a lot of shopping recently, a lot of digging, a lot of records to show. So why don't we just get into it? I belong to a Facebook group that is involved with folk music, and I did some trading with one of the guys on the group. And one of the records he sent me is the first one I'm going to show, which is the legendary Jimmy Rogers, and this is My Rough and Rowdy Ways, which of course happens to be the name of Bob Dylan's new album. This is from 1964. It's obviously a repress of a lot of Jimmy Rogers. It used to be called the Singing Brakeman. All his original songs has In the Jailhouse Now, Peach Pickin' Time in Georgia, Mule Skinner Blues, Southern Cannonball, just great early folk country music. So there you go, Jimmy Rogers, My Rough and Rowdy Ways. Another one I got from him was a great singer who unfortunately passed away much too soon, and his name is Cisco Houston. Cisco used to hang out with Woody Guthrie, and they would travel around the country and sing at migrant camps and union halls, etc. Cisco died in I think 1961 of cancer, which was a shame, really a shame. Beautiful, big voice, a nice, I don't know if it's not a bass, but a tenor, I guess. Great singer. And it's called Cisco Sings, and it's on the Great Folkways label. And he does all your basic, kind of Julie Carrier's Drill, John Hardy, Boll Weevil, Midnight Special, St. James Infirmary, all those kinds of things. But Cisco Houston accompanying himself on guitar. I think this is an original from Folkways. Let's see, I can pull it up here quickly. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, 1958 release. Cisco Houston. And the last one he sent me is not folk, it's blues. And the guy, I never heard of him, Kenny Neal. And this is called Big News from Baton Rouge. You would think I would thought it would be more Cajun or swampy, but it's more Chicago horn-driven blues. But just great stuff, really good. I liked it a lot. On Alligator Records, the Green Alligator Records label. And this was from 1988. Kenny Neal, Big News from Baton Rouge. I went out to Goodwill last week and found a number of records there. I just lucked out. First one I found was Buck Owens and his Buckaroos in Japan. Is that a great cover or what? Recorded at the Koshi Nenkin Hall in Tokyo. I don't have the date on this, but I'm going to say it's the mid-60s. It's okay. I mean, it's good, but there's a lot of talking. Buck Owens will talk, and then the guy will translate into Japanese, and back and forth throughout the whole concert. They keep talking. But he does some great stuff, and really enjoyed this record. Buck Owens, always grab Buck Owens. Love that Bakersfield sound. This was also there at Goodwill. This one was sealed until I got it, and I ripped it open immediately. And it's Earl Klugh, jazz guitar player, solo, so it's all just solo guitar work. And he does standards. It's Only a Paper Moon, if I Only Had a Brain, Love Is Here to Stay, Someday My Prince Will Come, Embraceable You, Autumn Leaves, The Way You Look Tonight. Just great solo guitar licks from Earl Klugh. Another one I saw there, which, I knew it from way back when, so it was sort of fun to have. It's nothing fantastic, a couple of good songs. and it's the Fleetwoods. And they were very big in the late 50s with Come Softly to Me and Mr. Blue were the two big songs. Trio singers, a male and two females. Fun album. I mean, nothing fantastic on United Artists, but for less than $2, hard to let it sit there. The Fleetwoods. And the last one I saw, which I really was excited about, 'cause I've been looking for this one for ever on and off, and I always see it, and it's always beat to hell. This is the first time I saw it in really good condition, and it's Chet Atkins Picks on the Beatles. On regular Capitol, RCA Victor, Dynagroove, in stereo. There, Chet Atkins with a Beatle wig on. Good stuff, really, really nice. He obviously is a fine picker, so it's good to hear him play. Chet Atkins. He does all the Beatles songs. He does I Feel Fine, Yesterday, Can't Buy Me Love, you know, She's a Woman, Michelle, etc. And then, I guess it was last Thursday, Brian from Shamrockin' Records and I went digging. I don't know if you watch Brian's channel, but you should definitely check him out. It's called Shamrockin' Records, and he lives nearby. We actually met on the VC, and we go digging quite a bit together. Even though I'm old enough to be his father, he still indulges me. So I took him to a couple of my hidey hole spots, place I don't take anybody. And the first place we went is a place about a half hour, 45 minutes north of here. And it's more a junk shop, really, than a antique store. But they have 3,000-4,000 albums, and everything is $2. No, the guy who runs it says, I don't look at records, I don't care about it, I buy them cheap, I put them out at $2 each, I don't look at them, go through them, maybe you can find some gems. So we went through, and I found about 20 records. First one is an album called, I lost it, called Plain and Simple by Eric Bogle and John Monroe. Again, complete blind buy, never heard of them, just like the cover. Obviously it's going to be a folky album. Turns out they're both from Scotland, and they both emigrated to Australia separately without knowing each other, came back to England and met in a pub in England and started playing together and put out a couple albums. And this one, I think it's from the 70s. I'm sorry to keep doing this to you. Trying to find, I got my iPad open down here, so I'm pulling up the information on my iPad as we go along. It's from 1981. UK press. Very folky, but some fun stuff on here. I think my favorite song is Bloody Rotten Audience, where they basically complain about the audiences not paying attention and that they are fantastic, so it can't be them. It must be the audience is rotten. It's a very funny song. On Plant Life Records, UK pressing, and just two guys playing guitar, singing folk songs. It's fun. Enjoyed that a lot. Next one I found, this is the second album I have by this guy. I had a record by him, I think I showed it a couple weeks ago. And when I saw the second one, I grabbed it right away. And it's Moon Martin. And this is his album, Escape from Domination. And this one I really enjoyed. It was, sort of reminds me a little of Jackson Browne. Sometimes his voice sounds a little bit like Paul Simon. That singer-songwriter, West Coast kind of thing going on, even though Paul's from the East. That West Coast kind of sound to it. Really good. Some good rockin' songs on here. Good pop. And nice label, Moon Martin label. And this, I guess, is from the mid-'80s. So there you go, Moon Martin. My second album. The first album I have by him is a little more rockin', a little more rockabilly kind of thing. This is a little more singer-songwriter stuff, but really good. Enjoyed that a lot. And one of the other ones I found, again, it's something I've been looking for a while. I really enjoy the country folk, country rock from the 60s and stuff, so I was glad to be able to grab Ricky Nelson's Garden Party. Nice gatefold. There's the back. And Rick Nelson and the Stone Canyon Band. And of course they do Garden Party, which was the big hit. But the rest of the album is really good. Great backup band he has with him, Stone Canyon Band. Just great stuff. Very much that early 70s country rock stuff. There you go. And the rest, about the 15 albums here, are all jazz. I'm a jazz hound, so I see it, I can't resist. First one I picked up was called Guitar Greats with Charlie Byrd, Barney Kessel, and Herb Ellis. And even though it sounds like a compilation, it's not. They actually got the three of them together. They had played at the Concord Jazz Fest in the summer of '74, and then they got them back together again in '76 and recorded this album. So most of the albums have all three of them on it, playing back and forth and trading licks. Just so good. A lot of classic songs, Making Whoopee, Body and Soul, Cow Cow Boogie, etc. Flying Home. Really good. Really enjoyed the hell out of this one. 1976, Concord Jazz. Three great guitar players. Charlie Byrd, Barney Kessel, Herb Ellis. This one, you always see this guy's albums, and I have one or two. I'm not a huge fan, but it just looked more interesting than his other stuff. And it's Herbie Mann, and this is Muscle Shoals Nitty Gritty. So when I saw Muscle Shoals, I figured definitely worth a try. There's the inner picture and the back. And it has Roy Ayers on here, Eddie Hinton, Roger Hawkins. Just really good. First song called Muscle Shoals Nitty Gritty. The best thing, they do a version of the Beatles Come Together, which is just wonderful. And produced by Tom Dowd. And again, this is from late 70s, I have a feeling. Didn't look it up. But enjoyed this a lot. Again, don't have a lot of Herbie Mann stuff, but this is a good one. Recorded at Muscle Shoals Nitty Gritty. This one I just listened to this morning. This is drummer man Gene Krupa, and this is two records actually. One recorded in 1960, 50. Who knows? Hold on a second. Let me get this sleeve off, and I'll tell you. Here we go. Anyway, it's cool jacket, UK pressing, nice slick cover. Opens up like that, and then the records are inside, so you gotta pull them out this way. And there's a VSP Verve. Originally recorded, released under Verve Records. One of the records. The one album was from 1956, which was the original put out by Verve, and then they added another album put out in 1958, and includes, great Roy Eldridge, J.J. Johnson, David McKenna, Gene Krupa, of course, Anita O'Day sings vocals on one of them, Phil Woods is on the other album, Nat Adderley, Donald Byrd. Big band. I don't do a lot of big band music, but this is definitely a keeper. UK press, Gene Krupa. This one, I can't remember where I got this. I think I might have gotten this Goodwill. Duke Ellington, 70th birthday concert. A little bit of ringwear, just a touch of ringwear there. But record's in really good condition. It's one concert recorded in Manchester, England, on Solid State Records. There's the label. Again, I can't leave Duke Ellington sitting behind when I saw it. Yes, actually, now I remember. It was Goodwill I got this. So, great album. Duke Ellington. This one I haven't listened to yet. I've listened to almost all of them, but this one I haven't had time yet. It's called Master Jazz Piano Volume 1, and it's from 1969, and it features Earl Hines, Claude Hopkins, Cliff Jackson, Jay McShane, and Sonny White on the MJR label. Nice, cool label there. Master Jazz Recording. Again, I haven't heard it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Love jazz piano, and big fan of Jay McShane and Earl Hines, and I'll figure out the other guys as we go along. There you go. And moving along here, Oscar Peterson plays Jerome Kern. This is on this cool label, Clef Records. And the date on this, let's see if I can find this out quick. I know, I should be more prepared. I should have everything all ready to go. I should know what I'm talking about. You have to bear with me. 1954. Original pressing in mono on Clef Records. So, Oscar Peterson, this one's not in great condition. It's not bad, but it's not, certainly not mint or even VG+. But from 1954, and it's Oscar Peterson, so hard to leave it sitting there. Again, these are all $2 each, so hard to leave it sitting there for $2. A Dizzy Gillespie compilation on Everest Records, Dizzy Gillespie Volume 2. This one's cool. This is Ella Fitzgerald. Ella sings Gershwin, and in the late 50s, early 60s, she did a whole series of songbooks. Gershwin songbook, Duke Ellington songbook, Cole Porter. This was done about 10 years or 9 years before that whole series was put out. And what I like about it is that most of the album, there are 12 songs in the album. I think 10 of them are just her with Ellis Larkins playing piano. So it's just her singing and the piano, which is just wonderful. You can really hear her without being drowned out by the orchestra. And she does Someone to Watch Over Me, But Not For Me. Nice Work If You Can Get It. I've Got a Crush on You. I'm just a lucky so-and-so. UK pressing on Brunswick. It's the Brunswick label. There is, like I said, a couple songs with an orchestra, which are fine, but I really like the just her and a piano player singing together. It's just wonderful. The cover's all beat. There's tape on it. There's for $2. What the hell? You don't play the cover. This one I picked up. I knew nothing about it, but it was signed. So whenever I see something signed and it's cheap, I figure, what the hell? It's Jack Mayhew and the Mississippi Mutters. There's Jack's signature right there. And there's the rest of the band signed in the back. It's modern Dixieland, I would say. New 1973. They do the Watergate Rag, 1973. Yellow Dog Blues. She's Nobody's Sweetheart Now. It was good, better than I expected. It's definitely Dixieland kind of music, but definitely updated. Has a lot of sort of Leon Redbone kind of music, kind of feel to it. Sort of good, I like that. As I was at this place for $2 records, there's a guy there digging through records, and he actually owns a record booth in one of the antique malls around town, and he recognized me, so we started talking, and I said, "Oh, I see you got a Dexter Gordon album." He goes, "Yeah, you want it?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Take it." Dexter Gordon, Gotham City. This is such a great record. Like I said, if this had been put out on Blue Note, this would have been a classic. I mean, it's Dexter Gordon with George Benson, Art Blakey, Percy Heath, Woody Shaw, and Cedar Walton. I mean, fantastic band. This is a from the 80s, but it's not too 80s feel to it. Just regular Columbia, but so good. Just fantastic. And what a band to have on there also. Dexter Gordon, Gotham City. Another one, again, these are all $2 records. I just can't let them sit there. These are in decent condition. And you can't ever have enough Stan Getz in your collection. This is Stan Getz Jazz Classics. This is a repress of a bunch of his 10-inch records that he put out in 1953 and 54. With Jim Rainey on guitar, Shorty Rogers on trumpet, Curly Russell on bass. Just great early stuff. Really hard to find those early 10-inch. So really nice to have a compilation of all them together in one place on Prestige Records. And the blue Prestige label. Everybody likes to see those labels. So really happy to pick this one up. Put that away later. And a couple more now. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this one's cool. This is a Riverside Giants of Jazz. It's a UK pressing in mono. And it's a 2-record set on the UK Riverside label. And it's in really good condition. And basically is comps from Cannonball Adderley from the album Them Dirty Blues, Bill Evans from Portraits in Jazz. What else we got here? Johnny Griffin from recorded 1961. Junior Mance, Charlie Rouse, Thelonious Monk, Wes Montgomery, Charlie Bird, Cannonball Adderley, Milt Jackson. Just great. UK press. Starting to peel a little bit, as you can see. But really good, and love the Riverside albums, and great find there. And last but not least is another UK press. A number of UK presses there. This is Buck Clayton with Humphrey Lyleton and his band, made in England. Buck's a really good trumpet player. I wanted to get this one. I don't know the Humphrey Lyleton band. I guess it's an English band. Recorded in Paris, May 1966. A really nice label, 77 records. So that's all I picked up. Not too much this time. So yeah, you know, I like this cheap stuff, and I can find it for $2. Hard for me to leave it there. Hope everybody is doing well. I want to thank everybody who's taking the time out of their days to watch my videos and to subscribe. If you like what you saw, hit that little button down there, little bell, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. Everybody out there, take care, and until next time, peace.